Episode 8 of Ancient Magus' Bride was a major turning point in the series, as it is the episode in which our main characters first encountered the main antagonist of the season, Cartaphilis, along with gaining a new ally in the form of Ruth. The construction of this turning point scene was an attempt to create maximum emotional payoff through the integration of an insert song. However, the scene fails to elicit an emotional response from me, yet it feels eerily similar to two other insert song scenes that did elicit an emotional response, them being Ymir's backstory from Season 2 of Episode 10 of Attack on Titan, and Shiro's resolve from Episode 8 of Season 2 of Fate Unlimited Blade Works. In this video, I will analyze the three scenes to see what similarities and differences they have, and get to the heart of what makes Ancient Magus' Bride unremarkable in comparison to the other two. In Fate Unlimited Blade Works, Shiro needs to accept his ideals as his own, even though his ideals are clearly flawed. In the scene, Shiro fights his future self, who has been overwhelmed by the flaws of his ideals, and has now become a representation of those flaws. Throughout the fight, Shiro has been physically wounded by his future self, showing that he is starting to question his ideals. The scene opens with younger Shiro walking through piles of destruction. There is a significant amount of fire covering the setting that young Shiro can't see through, and by the way he walks and falls, it is made apparent that he is lost and at his lowest point. Present-day Shiro refers to this place as Hell. The insert song Last Stardust starts about here, in a soft melody as Shiro asks why he's still alive. We move to a shot of Kiritsugu, who is Shiro's father figure, walking and digging for Shiro, implying an answer to that question. The setting is more clear and less encapsulated by flames, showing that there may be some hope in this hell. Present-day Shiro is watching this act, remembering that this act of kindness is what inspired him to gain his ideals of being someone that helps people. The scene blows up with a strong yellow energy, solidifying this moment as something meaningful to Shiro. The transition to Saber Scabbard plays more of a narrative role, as it reveals the connection between Shiro and Saber, and shows how Shiro is able to heal. Inspired by Kiritsugu's act, Shiro gains his ideals back, which is represented in the mountain that he climbs. The wounds dealt by future Shiro start to heal. Narratively, this is because of Saber Scabbard, but thematically this shows that the wounds dealt by the flaws of his ideals are being healed. The music builds as Shiro repeats the words of his future self, showing that he has accepted the flaws of his ideals. But then his future self attacks him, and present-day Shiro blocks his attack, solidifying that the reason he holds his ideals overpowers their flaws. In Attack on Titan, Ymir has lived a life full of lies as she pretended to be a carrier of royal blood. As a result, she is punished for it by being turned into a Titan and sent to a life of endless agony. The scene starts with Ymir in her Titan form. These shots, lasting for an excruciating 25 seconds, are made to show what Ymir has been reduced to, a mere animal whose jobs are only to run and sleep. The tune Watery Eye, which is the instrumental version of Call of Silence, plays through the scene, and its soft melody only makes these shots even more sorrowful. Then we see Titan Ymir get up and eat a member of Reiner's team. These shots serve more of a narrative purpose to show how Ymir got lucky and was able to transform back into a human by absorbing the powers of a Titan shifter. The next shot has a major change in color. Instead of the gloomy yellow, get a more hopeful blue. Ymir starts out curled in a ball and naked. Such imagery is usually symbolic of rebirth. Then as the music swells, we get a shot of the beautiful sky and Ymir looking at it. This conveys the idea that the suffering caused by Ymir's punishment is over, and she has been given a second chance. Ymir lays on the grass and starts laughing, showing relief that she accepts her second chance. Her transformation is only half complete at this point. She has accepted her new life, but it still doesn't have purpose. The final part of the scene is to show how she met Krista and formed a bond with her. This is the final piece of her transformation, that she truly gains the resolve to live, as she gains someone to live for. Now that we've seen what a show needs to do right to create an emotional insert song, let's see where Ancient Magus' Bride differs. In Ancient Magus' Bride, Ruth the black dog needs to accept that his lover Isabel is gone, and he needs to move on with his life. At the same time, Cartaphilas is using the body of Isabel to attack our protagonist. The scene starts with Ruth describing how lonely he is due to the loss of his master. He recognizes Chise as someone who can fill that gap and asks her to become his new owner. Chise agrees to this pact by hugging him, holding his hand, and connecting even with their blood as chains form around them, bonding them together. All of these actions, along with the pink aura, are supposed to represent their love for each other. The next shot shows the two of them standing together in a stoic pose in front of a pink background. The pose represents their strength, while the background represents their love for each other, showing that it's their love that gives them strength. Ruth starts to run towards the enemy with his newfound strength. He attacks the corpse of his lover, and then says goodbye to it, showing that his love for Chise has allowed him to move on. All three of these scenes are emotional turning points for characters, and in terms of cinematography, all three of them execute those emotions with their visuals and music perfectly. This baffled me as the scene in Ancient Magus' Bride didn't provide anywhere near as strong an emotional payoff as the other two. And that's the difference. These scenes are all emotional payoffs, and emotional payoffs are only as good as the setup allows them to be. Shiro regaining his ideals is based off of his inspiration from Kiritsugu, and their relationship has been very well developed between Fate Zero and Fate Unlimited Blade Works. Yumir's pitiful condition and her love for Krista have also been equally as well explored. Ruth's transformation is based off of his newfound love for Chise, who we only knew for a couple of hours. I think the producers were thinking that if we showed the two of them bonding for the length of an episode, then that should be enough. However, screen time doesn't amount to development time. The 3-minute scene that outlined Yumir's life was carefully edited to convey the message needed. We saw and felt the passage of time. We saw the mistakes Ymir was making and why she made those mistakes, and we saw how that led to her suffering. Even with the full episode of time dedicated to the relationship of Chise and Ruth, it could not reach the emotional connection necessary to deserve an insert song, and using such a precious tool on something so undeveloped is a failure of a payoff.